Gotta be lying. That's end of macro anyway, guys, so let's wait for the 2nd AM. So I'll be 10:45 to 11:15. Why would I risk my own capital to tell you guys something without recording for YouTube, and then it doesn't work? Seriously. You can get it guaranteed in 2 days. It costs 4 times the price of an eval. It's up to you if you want to do it. Total cost of 5 accounts is an average price of $2,400, including activation, which a lot of prop firms don't run activation fees anymore because they're pretty competitive between the firms. If you choose to do it, you can do it. If you don't want to do it, it's not a problem. You can do it the normal way. Pass it within a month or a month and a half. It's fine. Either way is the correct way. Yep, you don't have to pay Top Step. They have no activation fees because you buy the plan, which is $89. They have a no activation fee option, which is $89. So your total cost is $89. And then I've actually got this on my whiteboard because I've done it so many times. I mean, I'm making so much money, guys. It's unbelievable. But we've got... Let me bring my mic a little bit closer. So these are the prices. You got Top Step, $89, no activation fee. You got Alpha Futures, total cost $228 for the standard plan. You got Take Profit Trader, no activation fee, $119. My Fund of Futures, no activation fee, $127 scale plan with the add-on for free, which is a 6k cap payout. And I've done it 3 times and got My Fund of Futures, Take Profit Trader, Alpha Futures added on top of what I've already got. And I've also done Top Step as well, which was a total cost of 6.4k for My Fund of Futures, Take Profit and Alpha Futures, and then Top Step was an extra 2.2k, which is a total added capital of 18 accounts. I have a second laptop. I've bought VPN in another country. I have a second monitor. You guys can do the same. You can do the same. There's nothing stopping you. But in the start, you need to make sure that you build yourself up first. If you're not max allocated under your name, you've taken payouts to fund the second part of you scaling up, then don't do it as of that point. Same IP problem. Yep, that is why you run a second laptop. You buy a VPN specific location which doesn't change, so you're not connecting to a VPN and then one day you're in Japan, next day you're in China. You actually buy the location and you have a second monitor. But yeah, hopefully you guys found that valuable. Why 3 contracts? Because that's the limit. It depends which prop firm, to be honest. Take Profit has a limit of 5 contracts on the eval stage. My Fund of Futures is 3 contracts. Top Step is 5 contracts. And then on Funded it's 2 contracts until you hit the scaling plan. You can get 5 contracts, but you're never going to use it. Alpha Futures, the 0 plan, the advanced plan is the best. And the advanced plan has a 40% consistency, so this doesn't work for that. It only works for the standard plan. So standard plan only works for that. The advanced plan's the best. The 0 plan is for bracket CPI NFP, same as Apex. So mine said, I think the best thing to do is to pass the account Top Step eval trading the model. Absolutely, I totally do agree. But at the same time, if some people in different situations can afford to do it the faster way, I always advise you do it the faster way, because by the time you've traded to a 3k profit, if you did it the faster way to start with, that 3k profit would then be a payout, which would be 5k. So doing the faster route at the start, which costs you 2.2, and then you trade towards your 3k, you've then taken 5. So you're up 2.5 from doing the faster route. So the faster route's more profitable. At the start, it might seem, oh, but I'm spending 2.5. But then by the time you've reached your point to pass, the person who paid more at the start in 2 days is now 2.5k up in the payout, if that makes sense. So that's like the point of view. I can't explain it again because it's on YouTube. I'm recording for YouTube now. And don't post this on social media. If any of you guys are on Instagram or you do some sort of social media or anything like that, don't post this on your story, and do not speak about it on YouTube. You won't last very long with your accounts. You gotta be careful, you know. Exactly. So mine's your best situation is to trade it towards a profit and then take a payout. Absolutely. Oh, and also guys, I will tell you this, even though it's for YouTube, the best time to do it is in Asia. That's the best time. Asia's the best because it's very slow and it gives you, it doesn't matter what time you do it, but if you do it in New York, you will hit your TP too fast and you won't be able to calculate. Maybe you can, but I recommend you do it in Asia. It's nice and slow. You've got enough time to calculate where you can exactly get that 1560. And also in the New York you're making money, so that's the plan. I went to the gym today. I haven't been to the gym. I'm not gonna lie, guys. I've failed you. I haven't been to the gym in like 3 days. 3-4 days. It's not very good. Yeah, it's not good at all. I'm actually quite disappointed in myself. I've been spending a lot of time backtesting. It's actually been taking up pretty much majority of my day. I really want to get it sorted as early in January as possible so I can implement London and the PM. So I've been taking up a lot of my time. I haven't even got a haircut in the last like week and a half. I literally been backtesting. Yeah, that's what we've been doing. Absolutely, GG knows the method. That's it right there. You put them against each other, yeah. That's it. Yeah, hopefully you guys find these streams beneficial. You know, I'm always here to give you guys the most amount of insight as possible. It's very important. Gym in the New Year's is going to be, yeah, it is. I don't really know. Maybe not over in Thailand. I think in the West, yeah. In the West, everyone try to lose weight or put on some weight. Or, you know, most people these days are losing weight, aren't they? I never understood how people get fat, to be honest. I wish I could get some fat. just genetics at the end of the day, isn't it? It's genetics and consumption. Did you try dirty bulk? I've done dirty bulk sometimes. I mean, I like to mix it. I'd add like one cheat meal a day on top of the meals that I already have, and it kind of gets me to that 5,000 or 6,000 calorie mark. But I don't put on any fat from 6,000 calories. I'll just put on just muscle, and I'd stay really lean. It's really weird. I don't know what's wrong with me, but I just put on weight, but it doesn't turn into any sort of fat. It's quite strange, but yeah, most people they would actually get fat. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think once I get to like 27 or 30, I think I'll probably get pretty fat. Just got to stay in the gym, you know. Black people get so big, crazy genetics. It is. I do believe they have a, you know, a genetical advantage. It's definitely a real thing. Like, naturally, they do put on muscle faster. I do believe that. I think the hardest race to put on muscle would probably be Asian. People in Asia, I'm pretty sure it's a little bit harder to put on muscle. You said your shoulders, your shoulders injured at the moment. I recommend you take BPC 157, and that will get you recovered very, very fast. So obviously price is trading into more of a lower time frame premium. Alright, yes guys, welcome back for the second macro. We're going to look at our buys. Daily still bullish. 4 hours bearish. Hourly's also bearish. You can see that the 15 was bullish, and once ES takes this high, it'll be neutral. So ES is getting relatively close. As of now, it'd still be bullish, and we'd be bearish on the 5. So we've formed a bearish bias. We've traded into a lower time frame premium. So as of now, we'd look for a shift lower market structure. This would be our point of sell side. You can remove Asia highs because it's already been taken. Put that as the point of buy side, and that's it. So now we monitor this second day macro. We're looking for shorts and a shift lower market structure, and we either get it or we don't. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go on to TradeZella. I'm going to go to the March backtesting sheet, and I'm going to post it in the AM. Well, I'll post it in the backtesting channel so you guys can see the trades that I did take, and then you can kind of learn from them if you want to see, or compare them to the trades that you took whilst you backtested through 25. So I'll upload January, February, and also March. I'll do that for you guys now. So you can also see the win rate based off a 2-to-1 risk to reward. I'll post this in the chat so you guys can see this now. That's as close to the live account win rate as I have. That's over the space of 500, 800, or like 900 trades on a 2-to-1 risk to reward. And then if we post January, February, March results in there as well, I can show you guys this now. So Q1 of 2025 on a 50k account is a profit of $3,059.50 with a total R result of, give me a second, so a total R result, let me just add this up. There's no bullish order block here for price, so even if we shift lower market structure, it's not possible to have it with a gap, both assets. As you can see, that's the closest bullish order block, which is here on the ES. I like CES take out buy side because it would neutralize the 15 as well. So it'd be 8.3 plus 2.85 and then minus February, which was a losing month, 1.77. So 9.38 R result for Q1. I'm going to post these results in the chat. Alright, cool. So that's January. And I'll show you guys February. So this is a backtesting session conducted risking on average $3,000 per trade, which if you divide it by 10, it would give you a risk management for a 50k account of risking $300 per trade. So if I bring that back over there, last January, last February, and that's March. That's the official results for Q1. So for those of you backtesting 2025, you can compare the trades, which you'll be like, oh, I took this trade but he didn't, and you can kind of look at that. So take a look at Q1. That's the full results. That's the official results there. As I said, basically if you want to build a win rate and see what you actually are as a trader, you need on average around a minimum of Q1 and 2. What I say is that you need at least 3 quarters or a whole year of price action to prove a system. And I've got this system over the space of the past 3.5 years, and I've also backtested more than 3.5 years of price action. I've backtested pretty close to around 7-8 years. But I'm going to post it in the backtesting channel so it's there for good, so it doesn't get lost in the chat as well. So I'll post it in there now so you guys can see it. So whilst monitoring price, we have put in a bullish order block. So if we do shift lower market structure, then we would actually be looking for shorts. We've now got a neutral 15. Still got a bearish 5, bearish hourly, bearish on the 4-hour, bullish on the daily, which is a bearish bias. So we'd look for shorts, target relative equal lows, sell side is the overall draw. And also, if you're newer, I do recommend you go onto tradezeller.com. I'm not affiliated, and trust me when I speak about these different softwares and whatever to use, I don't make anything from it. I don't want to. But I recommend you go onto TradeZeller, and you can take a look in the backtesting channel that I've just put in there. So backtesting ICT Fanatic with the king emoji. If you click that, you'll see the different screenshots of trades that I've taken in Q1 of this year, and you can go on to TradeZeller, create a backtesting session, and look at the trades that I took, and it says the date. You can see the close date, the entry price, everything. And if you open them trades and see if you can understand the model, so understand the bias from that trade, understand using the checklist in this Discord, and become familiar with the model from looking at trades that I've taken, which you know are valid because I've taken them here, so you guys can see that. And you can look at losing trades, and you can see how quickly we get stopped out, or how price action acts when it doesn't trade in favor. Also winning trades on how positions perform as well. And then you can conduct your own backtesting session as well after you've kind of become familiar with the model. So I do think that would be great for a lot of you guys to learn from. And you will see that month to month the win rate varies massively. I've had months in the past where I've had 85 or even a 90% win rate across the month, and a month result does not justify your actual overall win rate. And as far as your risk to reward is going to stay the same, of course, but your win rate is going to change massively. You can see in January it was around 50%, February around 25%, and then in March around 63%. So by the end of the year, it will average out to around 58 to 60%. And aiming for a 2-to-1 is a multiple of 3. You divide that by 100, your break-even point is 33.3%, right? And people who trade 1-to-1s, that's 2 divided by 100, which is a 50% win rate to be profitable. But we sit at a 58 to 60% win rate based off a 2-to-1. That's the difference. No one will show you these type of stats either. No one in the whole space. I've never seen anyone be this open. I post every single one of my losses. I don't care. I find it funny when people think they got something to say. But even people who trade a 3-to-1 risk reward, like you said, apples, that's going to be 100 divided by 4. So your break-even point's 20% win rate. No one's going to state on YouTube that they've got a 30% win rate. But there's countless people who do. But they're not on social media. They trade higher risk rewards. Even if you're trading a 5-to-1. If you're trading a 5-to-1, you can't claim a 50% win rate. It's not possible. anything around a 5 to 1 risk to reward, you're going to be losing at least 60% plus of your trades. Not to say that you won't be profitable. Depends on your model. Yeah, that's correct, Maverick. I mean, if you are in Eastern Time Zone monitoring the London session, that, by the way, that backtesting that you can see there, those trades that I did take, that is purely off the New York session only, and that's not with London and the PM. So when we add London and PM, I'm going to repost the results for Q1, and you guys will see the difference. And I'm expecting it to be quite a dramatic difference, quite big. I'm very interested and intrigued to see. But yeah, we'll see. It's going to be interesting. And if you are in, Western Time Zone, I've spent a lot of time in Western Time Zone, and I personally don't like it. There's more opportunity to be in the Asian Time Zone because I have access to all the sessions, London, PM, and New York. And I also get my mornings to myself, The worst thing that I can find myself to do in the morning is come to a bunch of screens with blue light, drinking coffee, trying to wake myself up. I can never adapt to do that. I don't know what it is. There we go, Apple's, it's got the stats. When's the PM session in Thailand? So I'm the complete opposite of New York. So you can see right now on my screen, I don't know if you guys can see my whole screen, including the Apple logo at the top, but it's 10:58 a.m. in New York, and right now it's 10:58 p.m. for me. I'm the complete opposite. So the PM session for me is 1:45 to 2:15 a.m. And then after the PM session, I'll be sleeping at 2:30 a.m. Which for me, I'm fine with that. I have no issues with sleeping at 2:30 a.m. That's fine, because after 8 hours of sleep, it's 10 a.m., 11 a.m. That's perfect. That's not a problem at all. If you want to get a better time zone, then Dubai would suit the PM session slightly better. Milo, if I want to learn crypto like you did in depth, where can I do it? I recommend you watch Cryptos R Us on YouTube. I recommend you watch him on YouTube. He does talk a lot, and you will learn a lot from him. But bear in mind, he's very bullish on price, even if there's clear signs that price will draw lower. He said that price will go to 200k. I took a short, and I'm currently floating up around $70,000. So listen to him. He does have a lot of value and a lot of things to do with crypto that you'll find valuable. But it's all about taking different pieces from different channels on YouTube, etc. But if you go into the crypto section, I have briefly put where you can conduct your research, how you can track institutional size wallets. Cryptos R Us channel himself is there. I also used to be, before trading NASDAQ, I used to be into a lot of conferences and people who are very knowledgeable about crypto. I used to join meetings and just listen in, because I started with crypto and then I went over to penny stocks. I believe I was trading penny stocks, and then I went from penny stocks to options. No, I went from penny stocks to trading oil and natural gas, and then I went from oil to options, and then I went from options to forex, from forex to futures, and that all happened quite fast. And when I was trading the 2022 model, I started with trading ES, and I was trading ES for quite a long time, about 8 months. and I was consistent, but I always found the Nasdaq ran more, and it always ran with more volatility, and that's when I made the switch towards trading the Nasdaq and monitoring ES anyway. Yeah, I never got into NFTs, to be honest. Yeah, penny stocks back in when I first started, 2015, 2016, was pretty much the only topic that anyone talked about. I made money with Forex, but I found that it wasn't as clean to trade because I was trading the US macros. I was limited to a few different pairs, but the price action just wasn't as clean. I found looking at the futures price when I was monitoring and backtesting it, it was a lot easier to read, a lot cleaner, and a lot more suited towards the actual macro times because it's a full US based asset. So you can see here, obviously we didn't get the accumulation period that was expected, and we've actually just traded all the way back towards buy side. So there is an SMT on NQ at the moment. We are looking for shorts with a bearish bias, and there will be occasions where price just continues to draw higher. That's all it is. Yeah, one thing I will say when you're backtesting, when you're perfecting the model, small differences by the end of the year make a massive, massive difference, like huge. So the end of year P&L, even by one error that's been made continuously through the whole year, big, big difference. So it's very important. Is there anything that you need to know? I know it's not really spelt right in English, but is there anything you need to know before using TradeSync? Well, there actually is something you need to know. Is that when you enter a position, I do recommend you have TradeSync open, because sometimes, and I do have this probably happen around once out of every 3 trades, TradeSync won't close the other positions on the rest of the accounts. That's something you need to know, because if you just walk off and think I'm done for the day and you come back and your accounts are either in a huge profit or blown, just make sure when your lead account closes, you're on TradeSync and you see, okay, have I closed out? If not, and I just hit the flatten all button. So that is something you need to know. That's pretty essential. Make sure you're closed out. That's the only thing you've got to know. We got Melvin. Melvin took a payout, I think. Lovely. I mean, guys, never be embarrassed. If you take a $500 payout or you take, a 20k payout, it's still an achievement, and it's still something to post inside this group and be proud of. It's very, very good, because it's the start of your journey. Even if you take a $500 payout, it reflects where you are right now. But in 6 months to a year, you're going to be taking it across 38 accounts. No one's going to be laughing then. So it's a stepping stone. Four funded accounts and one eval on top step. How can I use different risk management? Well, what I'll do there, I mean, you've only got one eval left and you got 4 funded. I would just stick to grouping the eval with the funded accounts and just using the same risk management, and that eval will just tick over in its own time. So focus on the majority, which is your funded accounts, and then with your eval that you got there, just connect it to your funded accounts. That's what I would do. I wouldn't focus too much on that one eval. You got 4 funded accounts there, so you're already making 6 times 4, so you're making 2.4 per trade without scaled. And those 4 accounts, they're also going to fund the rest of your accounts as well. So whatever else that you do need, it's going to fund the rest of it. Yeah, you can see as of now there's no model for price. Even with NQ shifting, whether it's shifted or not, it's not valid. There's no gap on a yes. There's also no bullish order block. So for order blocks with 2 candles or series of candles, a series of candles is a higher probability order block, but still an order block when it's consisting of just 2 candles. So this order block to the left is more high probability than, say, an order block like this, where we have a down close engulfing an up close here. So this one is a lower probability order block. This one will be more of a higher probability one because it consists of 3 up close candles, and then we have these down close candles engulfing this area. So it is still an order block in itself, but there's high probability ones and lower probability ones, if that makes sense. So in Q4 we're currently up around 8R in Q4. So overall, Q4 is pretty average for Q4, to be honest. Q4 is usually slightly slower. Whether we traded London and the PM during Q4, it would obviously be a different result, which would be quite interesting. That's obviously what I'm conducting at the moment. Okay, so that's the end of the second day of macro. You can see there was no positions inside of that period, and we're going to wait towards the lunch. So 11:45, 12:15. We'll see if there's any opportunities between this period. We've had 3 huge moves already. So I'm not expecting much for the lunch macro, but if there is, then we would be there to capitalize on it. And I'll speak to you guys in a sec. Milo, will we trade live in the London? Absolutely. So once that goes ahead, I'll be going live during London. Some of you guys will turn up. Majority, I assume, probably won't. Like 50% of you guys can't because you're in the US, and some will make it happen, some won't. So I'll be trading live for London and the PM session. So any session that I monitor, it will be documented for you guys live. I'll speak to you guys for the lunch macro. Hello guys, welcome back for the lunch macro. It's pretty obvious, we've swept buy side, so we are looking for shorts, and then we're going to look at our bias now as well. So when you look at price action, the first thing that you identify is what liquidity has been swept most recently, and it is buy side, so automatically you look for shorts off the bat, and then you look at your bias to see if it's paired with it. So we know the daily is still likely bullish. As you can see, it's bullish, and the 4 hours still bearish. The hourly time frame still bearish as well. So one more result to lead towards bearish, and that would be our overall bias. You can see the 15 is currently neutral. So those time frames are the same. And then as far as the 5 minute, you can see on the 5, ES took a high, so it'd be neutral anyway, and then we want to see that we're in a 5 minute bearish gap. You see, so it's bearish. We do have a bearish bias and a sweep of buy side. Can you go over the 4 hour again? Yeah. So we're in a bearish gap. That's it. You see? 4 hour bearish gap. We trade out of the bullish gap. The draw out of the bullish gap is towards the next bearish gap or high. And we have taken, well, we haven't taken a high, but we are in a bearish gap. There's also an SMT between imbalances between the two assets there as well. As you can see, for this candle, there's a bearish gap on the 4 hour, and we haven't traded into an NQ. So NQ is the weaker asset out of the two today. ES trades into it, only tapped it, right? It's an SMT between imbalances. Not many people speak about that because they don't know about it. But an SMT between imbalances is a real thing. So as of this standpoint, we've accumulated after a move higher, taken buy side, take the buy stops above the short-term high, and we look for shorts. The one mistake that a lot of people make, and the perception, is that when people go into a new year, they think something magic's going to happen. They think suddenly they're going to get funded, or suddenly the price action is going to change, or something magical is going to happen. Nothing's going to change. I mean, whatever account you have now, you're likely going to go into the next year with the same stuff. The same physique that you see in the mirror. If you're fat, skinny, or whatever you are, you're not going to look any different. So time and date is an illusion for people to say, oh, this is where it would all start, this is the beginning. No, the beginning already happened, as I said, at the start of December. I've already added over $1 million in capital. I don't need to wait for a certain date, neither do you guys. And I know a lot of you guys have already taken action, and it's very good to see. During December, during November as well, you guys have added capital like we have never seen. And I do need to update the leaderboard in the Discord. If you guys don't know, we do have a leaderboard, and it states where people are at, of how much capital they have. And you can be on that leaderboard as well. It's in the PvP section. So if I look at this Google Docs sheet, so if I click it, so if we shift lower market structure now, this would give us a model. Clean sweep of buy stops, buy side, bearish buys. Clean shift above the short, below the short-term low. Bullish order block. Invalidation low, pretty obvious. 5-minute time frame low. Right, let me screenshot this leaderboard and then that's the first one. The leaderboard will be done in the next 30 minutes. We've got John C. passed another 50k account. Top step, lovely stuff. You got that $50, yeah? You was like, what, $20 off? You got it. To be honest, when you're $50 off or $100 off from passing, what you can actually do is use the martingale strategy. I know it doesn't sound really that good, but when you are only $50 off, it's kind of impossible not to pass using the martingale strategy. Now, if I explain it, is that if you need to make $50, if you look at price action and you say, okay, I have an indication that it's likely going to draw higher, you risk 50 to make 50, and you set for a 1-to-1. If you lose that, then the next trade, obviously, you risk 100 to make. So you risk 100 to make 100, and then you risk 200 to make 200, and then you risk 400 to make 400, so on and so forth. And you essentially get around 4 or 5 goes. So if you're that close, you can use 1-to-1 martingale and double up, with eventually blowing your account off about 4 or 5 goes. But I mean, if you get it wrong 4 or 5 times, then that's on you. So you could do that. I mean, that's just a suggestion. It's not really the wisest, but at the end of the day, it is an eval, so it does not really matter how you pass it. But it's good to see you got it passed, brother. So if we close above the hourly bearish gap, it would give an hourly bias as bullish towards buy side at 794. That would be the overall bias if we get that closure in a minute's time. 4 hour would still be bearish regardless. Still got time left there. I just want to see if this 5 minute bearish gap's been inversed as well. So we still got a bearish 5, even though that one to the left got inversed. Still a bearish 5. 15 still neutral, hourly still bearish for the next 20 seconds anyway. 4 hours still bearish. Yeah, so that hourly's now bullish. Still got a bearish bias. No, neutral bias. And we go bearish at buy side at 794. So Ryan, the 5-minute bearish gap that got inverse to the left, which caused the 5 to be bullish, there's actually another 5-minute bearish gap located a week before to the left. If you scroll all the way to the left, where the hourly bearish gap is presented, there's a 5-minute that we're still inside of as of now. That's why I've still got the 5 as bearish. 15's neutral, hourly's bullish, 4 hours bearish, daily's bullish. Colin, answer to your bias on the daily. It's a daily swing high or bearish gap. So that's always the bias on all time frames. 5-minute all the way to the daily has to be an actual swing high on that time frame. So on the daily, we're currently bullish, and we're likely to be bullish tomorrow as well, towards the next daily high, swing high or bearish gap. So you can see the draw as of now on the daily is this high here, 26. 1, 2, 3. The only possible scenario that the bias will change from that period is if we trade into this bullish gap, inverse it, and then it can be bearish towards this low. So as of now, likely direction is towards the high. So as of now, regardless, even if price shifts lower in market structure, we got a neutral bias, so we wouldn't look to take any positions for shorts. So for those of you that are creating live accounts using interactive brokers, you can't connect interactive brokers to TradeSyncer. So I recommend using Tradeovate. If you want to connect it to TradeSyncer, then use Tradeovate to connect, obviously, to TradeSyncer. Otherwise, you can just trade interactive brokers on TradingView and then run your TradeSyncer separately with your lead. So it'll be 2 executions you could do there, or 3 if you include Top Step X. Schedule for the backtesting sessions that we conduct. I'll keep you guys posted in the AM prep channel, and I will post a time, say an hour or preferably like 5-6 hours before we conduct the session. I'll let you guys know in the AM prep. That's where all the updates will happen. Maverick said, I get it about inversing and meeting the draw. If you're still talking about the 5-minute, we're currently in a gap on the 5. So whether we inversed one or not, we're still in a 5-minute bearish gap to the left. So the draw out of inversing the gap would be towards the next high or bearish gap, and we're in a gap, so we've met the draw as soon as it was inversed, if that makes sense. So the probability that we get a position is pretty much 0. We're at the end of the lunch macro. We have a neutral bias as well. So today there's not been any positions. We've monitored price to perfection, and the leaderboard's getting updated as we speak. I've got my slave ChatGPT analyzing all of the screenshots and writing everything up. So it'll be interesting to see how it's been updated from previous. I'll upload that in the next 10 to 15 minutes. Hope you guys enjoyed this session today. We will be live for Wednesday's price action, of course, 9:20 AM, which is obviously the Christmas Eve. So we will be going live at 9:20 AM to monitor price again. And then Thursday and Friday of this week, we're not monitoring price because Christmas Day is bank holiday, and that's a day that we don't monitor price. It doesn't matter that it's Christmas Day, it's actually a bank holiday, so we don't monitor price. And then the Friday, that is a personal preference that I'm choosing not to trade, mainly because it's the day after bank holiday, the day after Christmas Day, and it's a Friday with no red folder news, so it's going to be likely dead. So I'm not choosing to monitor on Friday, but we will be there tomorrow on Wednesday. Good speaking with you guys today. We'll be live tomorrow at 9:20 AM.